Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Worldwide report for October 10th, 1992. We've got a few more of these and over 1,400 audios available for your listening pleasure. We will move forward until we have literally the largest audio archive of wrestling-related stuff available on YouTube. And so we are quickly going along through the highlights of this area, and Sting laying out Nikita Koloff from a previous show with a steel chair usage is there, including the Cobra. We are weeks away from the WCW Halloween Havoc show, which of all things Bruno Sammartino endorses here on this particular edition of Worldwide, which is just weird, but he is encouraging everyone in the Philly area and surrounding markets to check out what he professes is going to be a worthwhile pay-per-view. Weird to see him citing there. The win of the Unified Tag Team Championships by Rhodes and Wyndham is highlighted from a previous Clash of the Champions. Wyndham said he knew it could happen, and of course his team with Rhodes goes all the way back to the spring and summer of 1991. We see college highlight football footage of Eric Watts, who is going to be a major force in the area. This is a clipped to all high heaven edition of the program. Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker is here. He is facing off against Johnny Gunn, who is weeks away from making his pay-per-view debut. Of course, he is later known as Sal Sincere in the WWF. Tom Brandi also. He either bought or stole, depending on who you believe, the Patriot gimmick from Del Wilkes, and ended up doing that around the Indies for probably a decade after that gimmick was nationally relevant. Anyway, continued tie-ups by Gunn with the go-behinds and shots there. Side headlock by Buddy Lee Parker. Parker does not lead him to where he wants to be there, and high hip toss among other things. And a drop kick under the chin of his adversary. 2 count there. Doesn't get all he wants, gets enough, and eventually gets the victory in relatively quick order. Cross body 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Still hyping the upcoming Halloween Havoc. We go to a control center. Sting promises to spin the wheel, make the deal, and Sting will not rebound from the deal if we believe Mr. Roberts. That is, Sting promises that he doesn't care what's on the wheel. He's going to win regardless. Rude says he feels backed into a corner in almost the idea of having to defend twice the U.S. Championship and the NWA deal. NWA Championship not for Rude, and I don't really know why they put it on this particular series of programming, but it is what it is. Flying Brian and Steve Austin teaming up for what I think might be the first time. If it's not very close to it, they might have teamed up one other time on WCW Saturday Night. Scott Steiner is roundabout here. And of course, the heel turn of Steve Austin, or a heel turn of Brian Pillman noted here. And Steiner and Bagwell are a team for a day, as Rick Steiner has been injured for the last little while. Big hip toss by Scott Steiner on Brian Pillman. Pillman claiming that his tights were pulled. This is not the case. And again, Scott Steiner overpowers Brian Pillman several times over the next several minutes. Story pretty much the same. Pillman cuts off Steiner with a pretty aggressive run there. Press slam along the way, and a big military press there. And ultimately a tag off. Austin manages to get in there with Scott Steiner, rather unimpressed if we do say so ourselves, and Tag off by Marcus Bagwell. Bagwell manages to heighten things, and again, there we go. And an armbar. Attempted roll up by Bagwell. Bagwell managing to drop kick under the chin and ultimately armbar cut off there. Pillman comes back in and goes pretty well after Bagwell with as many offensive maneuvers as he possibly can. Doesn't get all he wants on that, but gets enough. Tag off between Austin and Pillman, who later become probably one of the best tag teams of the 90s had they been allowed to go further. Who knows how far they would have gone. Steiner comes back in, and Austin manages to drop a knee across the nose and bridge of the nose of Scott Steiner. Match continues, and Steiner is, I wouldn't say completely unimpressed, but reasonably so by the continuation of the brawls and other such here, as it were. Austin tries to drag Steiner back into his corner. Tag off to Bagwell, and Steiner walks away, turns heel in process, and leaves and abandons Marcus Bagwell eventual win for the fledgling team of Austin and Pillman. More hype of the upcoming, in about 2 to 3 weeks, Halloween Havoc run there. Promises of Rude to be the NWA champion, and Scott Steiner says he's sick of sharing the spotlight with just about everybody, including his brother, and that's why he turned. Jesse Ventura is the one that gets us a scoop on that. We'll be back with more right after this.